Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel. Peter watches TV, all kinds of TV, the reality TV, the documentaries, the trending shows on Netflix. I watch them all, and I cover them all over here. So welcome to Peter Watches TV. In 24 hours from Ashley Madison to Bridgerton, I don't know what to do. I must go about the ton. I must go about the ton. Should we go to the ton? Should we go to the... Okay, so I binge watched the Bridgerton last night. The rest of Bridgerton. I started watching it the night before. I think I watched one episode, and then last night I watched the other three. My husband and I said that we were not going to watch it together. We were just going to watch it whenever we wanted to. So I was on episode 2, and I had it on my iPad, and he was sitting on the couch watching on the TV with his AirPods in, watching on Apple TV episode 1. We were like one episode behind each other. I looked over at him at the end of the first episode. I said, we should have just watched this together. And he was like, yeah, we probably should. So we agreed that the next part, when the next part comes out on June 13th, we're going to watch it together. Unless we're busy. About Ton. We always say, like, when we watch Bridgerton, I love Bridgerton so much. Okay, when we talk about Bridgerton, we always say to little Boo Radley, because Boo Radley, our dog, will start running around. That means he needs to go outside to, you know, do his business. And we'll, like, be like, Boo Radley, do you need to go about Ton? Do you need to go about... I just filmed a drama video. That's why I have all this. I have all these props and shit over here. But anyway, okay, so I finished Bridgerton, the first 4 episodes. Okay, first of all, I have to tell you, I've talked about this on my vlog, but I don't know if I've talked about it over here. Yes, I have a vlog. I vlog every single day. It's called Peter's Vlogs. It's like a podcast. I just share stories of my life, what I've been up to, and things like that. So anyway, I think I talked about it over here, but I don't know if or over there, but I don't know if I've talked about it over here. I am so done with this, like, okay, this thing happened in the world where everybody got rid of regular TV and cable, and then they started streaming things, and then we got all these streaming apps, and then nobody has regular TV anymore that had ads and commercials in it, and that was one of the reasons why we went to streaming apps, and now streaming apps have ads and commercials in them, unless you pay to not have the ads and commercials in them. And then we also did it because you could binge watch a show, like, overnight, right? Now we're going back to TV of 1987, which is where they release episodes 1 week at a time, 4 at a time. They're effing with our minds is what they're doing, okay? I'm real over it. And when True Detective, the last season with Jodie Foster came out, I think it was last fall, I decided that with that, because it was 6 episodes, I watched, like, the first episode, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing this anymore, because I'm so tired of, like, getting into a really good show. Like, Hijack, I was on Apple. It's such a great show. I was so over it, like, every week having to wait for the next episode of Hijack. And so I was like, I'm just going to wait till the whole, if it's like a 6 or 8 part show, I'm just going to wait till it's all out, and then I'm going to binge watch it then. Well, I was going to do that with Bridgerton, because Bridgerton released, they did the same thing that they did with Manifest, and they've done it with other shows, which is where they release half the season, and then release the other half the season later. I think Manifest, it was like 6 months later. But with Bridgerton, it's the first part just came out last week, and then the first 4 episodes of season 3, and then the last 4 episodes of season 3 will be coming out June 13th, and my husband and I are going to be binge watching it that night. So anyway, I thought I'd get on here tonight and give you my thoughts about Bridgerton season 3, the first 4 episodes. So if you have not watched it yet and you're going to watch it, I'm going to be giving spoilers. I'm not going to tell you what happened. I'm just going to assume that you watched it, and this is us just having a conversation about it, okay? I'm not going to go in there and be like, well, this happened, and that happened, and this happened, and this happened, and this happened. So let me just tell you my thoughts about it, okay? My very unorganized thoughts about it. I absolutely loved it, okay? I have been waiting for Penelope to have her moment, okay? She is the moment of Bridgerton, and she is. Well, she and Colin. And so Colin, who she's had a crush on for the last, 3 seasons, is now, like, he's back, okay? He's taking the summer trip into everywhere, I guess, and, I don't know, slept with 100 women or something like that. You know, it's interesting. I was kind of watching the show last night, and I was like, some of the show, it's like, my friend Tanya and I were talking about it, because there's a part in there where it's like, why can't I think of her name? The one Bridgerton sister, I love her so much. Eloise. Eloise has not taken a husband, okay? And then Eloise comes calling at one point on Cressida, okay? Because now Cressida and Eloise are friends, and she comes calling on her, and her dad goes crazy and says, you are not to talk to that Bridgerton girl anymore, right? Well, I assumed at that point it was because it had come out that Colin Bridgerton was helping Penelope with finding a husband. And so her dad didn't want her with the Bridgerton family, because the Bridgerton family is, I mean, they're very well respected about Ton, okay? So I was like, I didn't really understand that part. Then I was talking to him, and they show another scene where Eloise and Cressida are talking at the ball, and like Eloise is all in this conversation, and Cressida gets up and she kind of disses her, and then Eloise is kind of like lingering, right? And I'm like, are they gonna have a LGBTQI plus character on here? Oh, besides the guy that helps the queen, are we gonna have a moment? Like, okay, this is cool. So anyway, I mean, you know that Anthony Bridgerton, the character that plays him, is gay, right? Thank God he is gorgeous. So anyway, I mean, not thank God, but it's nice. It's nice to be represented, you know what I mean? So anyway, I'm watching this, and my friend Tawny Jean said to me today, she goes, the streets are talking about Bridgerton, and I said, the streets, this is what we talk about, like when the tabloids and things like that. She goes, yeah, they're saying that they're going to make Cressida, and the second part, that Cressida girl and Eloise, like a lesbian couple, and I was like, oh my God, I live for that all day long, but I don't know that they would go there, but I think they would. I mean, we've really never had, I can't think of one, like a main gay character on Bridgerton yet, which is interesting to me, because it is a show that takes place a long time ago, but it deals with a lot of current social issues, and that is one of the things I love about it. I love the discussion of, you know, the economic backgrounds of people and how it plays into importance and who somebody really is just by what they're given and their status and that meaning behind that. I love all that kind of stuff. I love the discussion of all the discussions that are subliminal in Bridgerton, and I love this one too. And this is the season of Colin, who has Bridgerton, who has returned, okay, from his trip to Paris, Italy, Spain, all these places, and visited all these places, and now he's back, and he's looking for a wife, and he's had quite the glow up, okay? That's what everybody's saying. Is that what the word is called? He's had quite the glow up. I guess I'm gonna have quite the glow up too. Like Kenya Moore, I'm the moment, which means I need to put on some lip gloss. You can't talk about a glow up unless you have some lip gloss on. Okay. So anyway, I was talking about Colin and his glow up. I actually was like, what? Is this the same actor? I was so confused. I was like, this does not look like the same actor. That glow up was done with all hair and makeup, y'all. I read this entire article about it, that they knew they were going to do this to him in season 3. And so before that, he's always been like this built and this chiseled and stuff like that. But before this, they had like put all these like ruffles around his neck to make his face, and his hair was different to make his face appear rounder and things like that. And they hid his body in clothes. Well, they're not doing that no more, right? So he's had quite the glow up. Now he is trying to help Penelope, who is also the writer of, what's that, the Miss Whistleblower, or whatever that magazine's called, basically Gossip Girl. And, but I live for it all day long, right? But Eloise is now not friends with Penelope anymore because she found out that she's the writer of the article that tells on everybody about Tom, including her. And so she found that out, and so now they're not friends anymore, but she's the only one that knows that. But now Eloise and Penn are not friends anymore. Penn is looking for a husband so she can get out of her mom's hair. Her mom is trying... Why am I giving a recap of all this stuff? Let me just tell you what I think. First of all, those two mean stepsisters of Cinderella are hilarious, okay? Those two have stepped it up this season. I am loving them, okay? The banter back and forth between them and their mother is hilarious, okay? I mean, when she said, so the mother's trying to see if they're getting pregnant, and she's like, says something about when you stick it in the hole, and they're like, what hole? And they're like, okay. And the mother's assuming that they've been having sex this whole time. I was like laughing. So there's something, I mean, I just love it so much. I don't love that they're doing to Anthony Bridgerton and his new wife what they did in season 2. I can't even remember what her name is because she's been gone for so long. But to the daughter, the Bridgerton daughter, where she was the first season, now they sent him back on honeymoon. So they're not even really part of it. I think they'll bring him back for the second part. But now... Okay, so Penn has always been in love with Colin Bridgerton, but she knows that ain't gonna ever happen. So she decides that she's gonna have him teach her how to find a husband, right? And so she has this guy that she likes. I thought he was good looking too. The guy that's like real into the birds and all that kind of stuff and outside, but he wants a practical wife, okay? She wants to fall in love like the books. So all this kind of stuff, so she's still kind of, Penn is still pining after Colin Bridgerton, okay? First of all, I just have to say, Bridgerton is one show that, like, you know how, like, shows you watch season after season after season, and it kind of gets worse? Like, Bridgerton never disappoints. Like, it is just as good now. I think this season is actually better than the first season, if you want the truth. And the other thing that's interesting is Queen Charlotte is my favorite out of all the 4 seasons of any kind of Bridgerton. Queen Charlotte was a spinoff. Queen Charlotte is my favorite. I mean, you want to talk about a love story beyond. Okay, Queen Charlotte was unbelievable. It was so fantastically done, and the importance of talking about mental health and the relationship between his assistant and her assistant, that whole scene at the wedding when they played the Whitney Houston song. Queen Charlotte, I mean, that will forever go down to be one of my favorite shows ever. I loved Queen Charlotte. The music was incredible. I loved Queen Charlotte so much. And now now I look at the Queen in kind of a different way, having watched that show. Do you guys, if you watch Queen Charlotte, you know what I'm talking about. It's like, I don't look at her, it's like, before I just looked at her as this kind of like funny queen that just like didn't really know what was going on. I completely look at her in a different way now, just by having that backstory from Queen Charlotte, and I love that they did that, right? So I love Bridgerton. I love this season, and I have to tell you, let's just get to the end of it, okay? Woo! Okay, they do not show a lot, okay? Now, these ladies, do y'all remember like in Bridgerton 1, if somebody kissed somebody, that meant they had to marry him? Do you remember that? Do you remember that in season 1? Like, it was, I can't remember who it was, but like somebody was like, oh, we kissed and now you have to marry me kind of thing. Okay. Oh my Lord, I can't even say it. Penn and, is it third base? I don't even remember, I'm so old. But like Penn and Colin go to like third base. Oh my God, in the carriage on the way home from the ball about Todd. And I was like, I literally was just like watching that part. First of all, that girl, that actress that plays Penelope, I live for her, okay? Gorgeous, hilarious, talented, smart. I live for her character, and I live for the girl that plays her, okay? I love her so much, okay? And so beautiful. Absolutely so beautiful. She's just stunning, isn't she? Absolutely stunning. She has blonde hair in real life, but for the show, she has red hair. I think she is just stunning, okay? And the moment where she is sitting there and she's talking to Colin, and he's like, what would you say to a suitor? And she's talking about his eyes, and he's just staring at her. I was like, oh, God, please let this happen. So they are going at it in the carriage, and then he says to her at the very end, this is how the season ends, and he says to her, are you going to marry me, Penelope Featherwater, or whatever her name is, or not? And I'm like, oh my God, it's happening, I can't believe it. But then I watched the trailer for the next 4 episodes, and basically what it is that all about Ton. It's this huge thing that Penelope and Colin Bridgewater are getting married, but Colin Bridgewater is leading the task to take down Mrs. Wordy Weather. I can't remember what her name is. The newspaper, Gossip Girl. I don't know why I can't remember what. Some of the Bridgewater fans out there are like, oh, you're having the funeral vespers because I can't remember what her name is. What's her name? Pennywise? Oh, no, that's it. What's her name? It's not Featherton. What's her name? I can't remember what her name is. But anyway, the one that she's always coming out with all the gossip, okay, which she wrote about herself, and I give it to Penn because if she didn't write it about herself, why did I just think of Penny from that, what was that show? The Rescuers? Oh my God, I love that cartoon when I was growing up so much. But anyway, but Penelope wrote about herself because she had to, right? And then Eloise forgave her. But then Colin is like leading this like task force to take her down and find out who she is. And the Queen is going to offer 5,000 pounds or dollars or whatever to somebody that can find out who she is. And so it's going to be this fight between them getting married and whether or not they find out who she is. I think she's going to come out and she's going to expose herself. I think she's going to take back her power, okay? I think this season is the season of Penelope, and I think she's going to take back her power. I think she's going to tell on herself. I don't think it's just going to be because Eloise already knows. I don't think she's just going to take back her power just with, what do you call it, it was interesting, just with being, you know, the glow-up queen and being with Colin and all that kind of stuff. I think she's going to take her power back with this magazine, too, okay? I don't know how they're going to weave it in there, but I think she's going to either get honest about it, or it's going to be put off on somebody else, or maybe Eloise will take responsibility for it. It's going to be some trickery of the ending, right? And all these people are like, they're so interested. Like, I was reading all these articles, and the thing they're interested in is, who is that Bridgerton girl going to marry? And I'm like, does anybody care about that? She likes the pianoforte, okay? Which I don't even know what the fuck that is. What is a pianoforte? Is that a piano? I don't understand. It sounds like Twinkle Bells. Or is that her name? Twinkle Bell? Twinkle Bell. It sounds like Tinkerbell, okay? Dancing across the piano and a harp at the same time. It's freaky strange. I don't like that pianoforte. I don't know why we call it a piano. Why didn't you just call it a piano? Okay? A pianoforte. I know some people are getting so pissed out there because they're such Bridgerton fans. I am too, okay? But I can have my jokes, and I think it's weird. But listen, she is all about wanting to, like, be with that pianoforte, okay? Well, she likes that guy that wrote the song for her, and I do think they make a good love match, too, but I don't really care who she's with, okay? I didn't even know she was part of the family. They're like, oh, there's another Bridgerton sister that's coming out of the show. I said, who does she do? I don't even know. I thought there were more Bridgerton sisters. They keep on inventing characters in the Bridgerton family just to marry them off to people so that mom can have a job. Just marry that mom off to Lady Danbury, who I love. Lady Danbury is probably my favorite character on Bridgerton, period, end of story. But just marry her off to that Lady Danbury's brother. I love that for them. I love that for him. Remember last year when her garden was itching? It was. Her garden was itching. Do you remember that last season? Oh my God, talk about funeral vespers. Anyway, I cannot wait till June 13th when the second part of Bridgerton. Bridgewater is a part of where Indianapolis, a neighborhood of Indianapolis, Bridgerton. Have I called it Bridgewater this whole time? I cannot wait until Bridgerton Part 2, Season 3. Season 3, Part 2 comes out on June 13th. Let me know your comments let me know what you think in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.